Yeah, they've been excellent. They've been excellent. The U.S. Intelligence has been excellent since 2003 when we invaded Iraq, disrupted the entire region for no real reason. Don't for a minute start cheering this on. What you have done, what we have done, we have unleashed.
I will cheer it on.
We have, all right, well, you, like Lindsey Graham, have never met a war you didn't like.
Oh, damn. So that was Geraldo Rivera telling Brian Kilmeade that he's just like Lindsey Graham. Oh, it's so good. So good. It appears there is some discord on Fox News at the table. Now, again, this is related to the attack against, the assassination of Iranian military leader Qasem Soleimani. So now Donald Trump ordered the attack on Soleimani last night, but they can't seem to agree on a reason why. It's kind of interesting. First, it was supposed to be a response to the embassy attack. Then Mike Pompeo comes out and says, well, even though, I can't actually give you any of the information, well, they were planning an attack on American forces, not the American mainland, but just on our forces in the region, possibly using some of their proxy forces. Well, okay. Do you have any evidence of that, Mike Pompeo? No, I can't show you the evidence. Well, then why should we believe you? Again, as Geraldo points out, the intelligence didn't mean squat when it came to Iraq. We went out there with false intelligence. They lied to us to get us into a disastrous war with Iraq, which ended up costing, of course, trillions of dollars and thousands of lives. And then over 1 million innocent Iraqis were also killed. So one of the biggest military blunders of the decade. And possibly of the century. So look, Geraldo, 100% correct. This is an escalation. This is like if Iran droned Mike Pence. Suleiman was a very powerful figure. He was an Iranian leader, is more powerful than President Rouhani. So there will be retaliation. And then, of course, retaliation from them will lead to calls for retaliation from us. And on the cycle never ends, right? Because that's inevitably what will happen. Because of course, I don't know how to break out of that cycle. How do we break out of that cycle, right? How do we try diplomacy? It seems like for me, it feels like it's too late. But then again, I'm a cynical person. And right now, all I can see is the disaster of Iraq playing all over again. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. So now, I want to go to the next video here. This is actually the full conversation in context. So it's about 1.5 minutes long, and you'll see the lead up to that confrontation and the aftermath. So let's take a look.
Now we have taken this huge military escalation. Now I fear the worst. You're going to see the U.S. markets go crazy today. You're going to see the price of oil spiking today. This is a very, very big deal.
And I don't know if you heard, but this isn't about his resume of blood and death. It is about what was next. We stopped the next attack.
It was preemptive.
That's what I think you're missing.
According to the Secretary of State.
And so we should allow the next attack?
By what credible source can you predict what the next Iranian move would be?
The Secretary of State and American intelligence provided that material.
Yeah, they've been excellent. They've been excellent. The U.S. Intelligence has been excellent since 2003 when we invaded Iraq, disrupted the entire region for no real reason. Don't for a minute start cheering this on. What you have done, what we have done, we have unleashed.
I will cheer it on.
We have, all right, well, you, like Lindsey Graham, have never met a war you didn't like.
That is not true, and don't even say that.
If President Trump wanted de-escalation.
We should just let him kill us for another 15 years.
If President Trump wanted de-escalation and to bring our troops home. What this was a reaction to.
What about the 700 Americans that are dead? Should they not be happy? Because of him?
What about the tens of thousands of Iraqis who have died since 2003? You have to start seeing things. What the hell are we doing in Baghdad in the first place?
So
why are we there? Why aren't these forces
blaming
home?
President Bush for the maniacal.
I am blaming President.
Oh my God! Again, everything he said there, 100% correct, and that is a difficult admission, right? But Geraldo There's a lot that I disagree with him on, but every once in a while, guy comes out and actually speaks truth. And so I'll give him a lot of credit. He's fighting against this. And he's saying, what are we even doing there? What are we doing in Iraq? What are we doing in Iraq? I mean, look, war's been over for quite a long time. What are we still doing there? Why do we have 16,000 personnel still stationed in Iraq? Why? What's the point? What's the point? They're supposed to have a democracy now. So, and their leaders are saying, we don't need you anymore. Get out. Get out. Well, why don't we get out? Now, and here's the thing. We're still also stuck in Afghanistan. Why? Get out. Get out. I'm not saying pull out immediately right now. What I'm saying is let's get a plan and get out. And get out. We do not need to be there because the longer we are there, the more we are a target because we are an invader. We are the invaders. And I know we our forces get attacked and we're like, oh my God, why are they attacking us? Because we're not supposed to be there. Get out. Get out. God damn it. Look, anybody who doesn't see, going back to Iran, anybody who does not see the parallels to Iraq is not paying attention. Again, Geraldo brings up a great point where he says, oh, look, oil's going to go up, right? That's exactly what happened. The markets are going to go crazy. Again, you had Boeing, Raytheon. You had the three biggest defense contractors have a giant increase in their stock price. That's the whole purpose. That's the reason that we're still in Iraq. That's the reason that we're still in the Middle East, because it's all about money. It's all about the oil. And these neocons, and by the way, Brian Kilmeade should be ashamed of himself. He's like, well, I cheered all this on. Yes, more death. Yes, more war. Yes, more sending more of our troops in to get killed. There are words that I want to say about Brian Kilmeade that I can't do it. I can't do it. But look, the neocons, they have been salivating for a new war in the Middle East. And the first step of that, of course, was ripping up the Iran deal. So we then, of course, ripped up that deal and then pointed to Iran and said, how dare you violate the deal? But wait, that was after we backed out of the deal. How could we go and say, well, Iran, look at how you're violating the deal. We violated the deal first by pulling out of it. And so what do you want them to do? We already put the sanctions back into place. We restricted them from selling oil. We restricted other countries from doing business with Iran. Also, we said you cannot ship out your nuclear material, right? Now, they're not supposed to have a stockpile of nuclear material. And yet, we still, the deal allowed them to generate a very small amount of very lowly refined uranium, right? And then they're not supposed to have over a certain percentage of it. Well, their nuclear power program generates a little bit of that material, and then they can't ship it out. We say you can't ship it out, so it stockpiles, and then they violate the deal. And we say, how dare you for violating the deal? For Christ's sakes. What are they supposed to do? And again, the government's claiming, without evidence so far, and we cannot trust the evidence coming out of the Pentagon because they have lied to us before when it comes to the war in Iraq and the weapons of mass destruction, that Iran wanted to attack us. Well, again, I don't trust it. And I know this embassy was attacked by militants. We hit those militants back. But guess what? That wouldn't happen if we weren't already still there. But now the neocons have a perfect excuse to attack Iran and escalate the wars that they say have so desperately wanted to escalate. And I don't even like Iran. I don't like the government of Iran. I don't like the Ayatollahs. I wish they were a democracy. But look, I didn't even know who Soleimani was before the last couple of days. And so I don't think Iran is a good guy. But we are certainly not the good guy either. There are no good guys here unless you count the civilians that are trapped in the middle. And the soldiers that, of course, take the orders from the generals. There are a couple of people, at least on the right, that I've seen, and not very many of them, but Geraldo is one of them, that are at least looking at this as it is, and that is a dangerous escalation on the part of the United States which is begging for a new war in the Middle East. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.